Brighton's finest. Juice 107.2.
Are you working on anything in particular?
Yeah, I'm actually working on my own festival, Space Mountain, which happens in October.
Yeah, I've heard about that. I've not been, obviously, but I heard it's a beautiful affair.
Yeah, so just getting that together.
And that's in your own, that's your production space, isn't it?
In my studio, yeah, in Andalusia.
What have you got lined up this year? Can you say?
We've got, Spongle, Hallucinogen, Sons of Arca, The Orb, Gaudi.
Yeah.
A few of the people who'll be at One Love.
Yeah.
Extreme, some trance, some great artists. Craig Sam's talking, Nick Turner from Hawkwind, Simon Dogg, who used to play The Clash, Jazz Coleman from Killing Joke, and then we do these producer sessions, and I've got like Matt Black from Ninja, John Leckie, Alex Patterson, all doing. They all kind of cherry pick different musicians and put them in the studio with an audience. It's pretty cool.
Is that your first love then, reggae and dub, or is it just something you came to over the years?
I kind of first discovered dub and reggae when I was about 13, 14.
Yeah.
And it was a prime mover, for sure. By the time in my 20s, it was probably the music I listened most to.
What sort of artists? Can you name a few?
My early influences are double Lee Perry, of course.
Yeah.
And that's nice. I've got Lee Perry coming out to the studio before the festival, halfway through an album with him.
Okay.
Things that really grabbed me was Scientist and King Tubby, and Joe Gibbs, all those, Prince Jammy. The crazier the better, I thought at the time. So Scientist was kind of like my favourite because he was just beyond.
What is it about the music that appeals to you? What is it exactly? Its essence, can you describe it?
Dub, okay, yeah. I mean, dub is like it's like abstract painting,
Yeah.
So it's deconstructing ideas of form and structure into abstraction. I suppose spearheaded in its early days by Lee Perry, King Tubby. It really was deconstruction of a song or a recording and the reinvention of it through effects. The first time people ever used a recording studio as an instrument, really. I mean, I wouldn't, maybe not, because Joe Meek certainly did that and some of the Beatles stuff, but where the main feature of the recording or what you're listening to was effects from the studio, it certainly came in with dub on the back of Sgt. Pepper's and Psychedelia, I would say.
Yeah.
And dub just, I suppose Lee Perry's our Picasso, really, for my generation, with music. And he just completely rewrote the vocabulary of music. So it was a huge influence for me as a producer. My first record I did a dub mix of, which was One of the Lads, and then Turn to Red with Killing Joke, 1978. That came out on 10-inch with 2 dub mixes.
Yeah.
We were at that time. I was only interested in working with dub engineers in studios where they did dub. So throughout the 80s, dub informed. Initially, we started bringing dub into rock with Killing Joke and things like that, and then later on with remix culture and the orb and sampling culture. In the mid-80s, I was using a lot of dub influences in my dance mixes and remixes, whether it would be bands like, industrial bands, Portion Control, 400 Blows, things like that, or even Alien Sex Fiend.
Yeah.
They all had 12 inches with extended dub mixes on them, and then I started doing a lot of remixing. I was remixing Erasure or, so many different things. Again, I'd always do a dub mix as well as the mix I would be doing. And so it became part of my practice to, once I'd done an album mix or a radio mix, I'd deconstruct it, do a dub mix, to the point where then people just asked me to just do the dub mixes as remixes,
Yeah.
And around that time, or before that, I started a label, Wow Mr. Modo, with Alex Patterson from the Orb, We put out the first Manasseh productions of Sound Oration and Lidu Incorporated, both very rare records now. The beginning of a British digi dub of the late 80s, really. And so, you know, I kind of got, by that point, it got to a point where I could have a label where we're predominantly doing dub. And then I kind of just got into more of the mashing up of dub. And now, of course, I mean, dub is everywhere, and it's as much a part of remix culture as, it's the DNA of remix culture, which is, you know, predominant culture we live in, really.
So,
and there's a massive renaissance of dub, and One Love is a good example of that, isn't it? You know, huge dub festivals around Europe. You know, it's great to see people really, enjoying it again, keeping it alive.
I guess it comes in waves, does it? Does it feel like it comes in waves? It's kind of...
Yeah, I think you're right, yeah. But at the moment, there's some good promoters in London, Reggae Roast and people like that. We're putting together really good events which are attracting a lot of people.
What about are there any kind of new artists coming through? Do you sense that there's a kind of people making new dub?
Oh yeah, I think when you look at the electronic scene and chill out scene, all those artists are dub orientated. And then, you know, there's another scene where the people are just making roots dub, you know, or digi dub that's more niche specific, and that's huge as well, you know. And there's a rise of a new wave of young dub producers like Prince Fatty and stuff who are making more rootsy sounding dub as well.
Yeah.
There's a huge spectrum of subgenres, hundreds of subgenres of dub now. So, industrial dub, there's so much, you know. And again, I think us fusing dub in the 90s with Killing Joke with a bit of even more industrial sound became a big influence on rock bands doing it as well.
Yeah.
But, you know, it's wide, isn't it? But then there's still just a great love and appreciation for, you know, traditional Jamaican reggae, you know, so that's great as well.
Yeah.
And there's some young reggae artists. It's tragic what's happened in Jamaica, the demise of the industry that was so prolific and exciting in the 70s and early 80s, and it's almost vanished completely now.
Is it? Oh, God, I didn't know
There's a much bigger American influence in Jamaica now than there was then. Although there are some young emerging artists coming out of Jamaica, I find it really exciting what producers like Dick Blow and Major Lazer are doing with reggae, and even Congranati. I think it's fantastic what they're doing when they're mashing it up with dubstep and all sorts of things. Cool.
So when you play one of your DJ sets, what will you be doing basically at One Love? What kind of vibe will it be?
Well, I'm going to be doing two sets. One, or maybe three even. One, I'll just be doing a straightforward dub set, which will probably be quite dancehall, not like 90s dancehall, kind of feel good, Saturday night.
Yeah.
And then Saturday night also I'm doing a sort of ping-pong selector thing with Alex Patterson and Gowdy and a few guests all together, which I did that at Glastonbury at Shangri-La, and I was